needing him, the grant is due March the 28th. So if we end up needing his, which we probably will need his assistance to do something, we have enough time to get him involved and seek his expertise in whatever area we need. Yes. All right.
I am gonna hopefully not wait until March 28th. I don't like to wait until the very end, but good to know.
Yes, March 28th is when we have to actually submit. That's the cutoff, and we
Okay.
should be able to have all our ducks in a row by then. So that's basically 2 months away. So we'll be able to get everything completed by then. So
Okay.
last night before I left the office, I saw your two failed emails come back. And then
Oh,
I said, yes, they just came back. So I guess they looped and looped and looped and tried to try to get through to your email, but it didn't happen. So,
I did
anyways,
get the application checklist.
you did.
Yes, I got it this morning, so I have it.
Okay, okay. So my email came through to you this morning?
Yes, I got it at 8:02 a.m.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I told you we had a lot of problems with our email yesterday, but yes, Dave is also our IT guy, and he was working on it, and yes, he got them.
Okay,
Most of them come through, so yeah.
okay. All right.
So I do have that.
Okay. So, all right, perfect. So, the application checklist is what we're going to go through together for our kickoff
Okay.
meeting. What I'm going to do for you, I'll do a brief overview of the grant, and then I'll talk to you about what is needed for our grant application package, and then we'll get started.
Okay.
Okay? So, the purpose of this meeting is for us to have our kickoff for the 2021 Radon Testing and Mitigation Demonstration for Public Housing Grant. It's a mouthful. And who has joined?
Hello, this is Dave.
Oh, hi.
There we go. Now we're all here.
Sorry.
No, I know. I thought it was a Zoom meeting, and I went back and read the email, and we're good. We're all good.
All right.
Happened.
Dave, do you have a copy of this? Is Sarita Gibbons.
How you doing, Sarita?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm just living the dream.
So am I. um,
There you go.
were you able to get a copy of the application checklist that I emailed?
I don't think I got that.
I,
Um,
I
Dave, I did forward it to you this morning when I got it, but you might not have seen it
okay.
yet.
Yeah, no, I've been running around crazy, so
Yeah, he's been trying to fix our email. So yes, you do have a copy. I can send it to
okay,
you.
all right.
all right. So, what I'm going to do is go over that application checklist. I'll first do a brief overview of the grant program for you, just hitting on some of the highlights. And then I'll go through what we will need for our grant application package. And then from that, we'll start building the application package in order to be able to submit on or before the due date, which is March the 28th, 2022. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So, line item two, the primary will be Miss Roth, and the secondary will be Mr. Fiske. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I'm okay. Yep.
So, the purpose of this grant is to provide funding to public housing authorities that have traditional public housing units to test and to mitigate for radon in their units. In addition to that, you'll be able to get funding for other things, which I'll talk about later on. So that is the purpose of the grant, is for funding to test and mitigate radon in your public housing units. Can you tell me a little bit about what your vision is for the grant program?
Have families that, and maybe can come here also, but we have family units that we people, um, have radon and tested, and so we would like to there and just a system in there so we can take care of it. We have, I think, 100 and
Could you hold
yeah,
on just a quick second? Because you've started breaking up. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to try something.
it's probably my phone system. Dave, I'll let you fix it.
Well, I'll do my best.
Sarita Gibbons. Hello? Okay. Let's see if this is a bit better.
And I can hear you all right.
Okay. All right. Can you go ahead and tell me what you were saying before?
Yeah. So 55 family for that there's great amount and it's awesome. And so we would use this grant to just go ahead and start these systems and where we can for all of them. And we are maybe some of our units we're moving towards a conversion and while we're renovating we would like to use the grant to just put the radon systems in.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's great. So the period of performance, line item 6, is for 3 months, actually 3 years. HUD says that they have an estimated project start date of June the 8th, 2022, and an estimated project end date of June the 8th, 2025. So normally what happens if they have an estimated start date of a certain time, then you expect to hear of the award announcements before that date, if that's when they expect you to start operating the program. So
Okay.
the grant award amount is you can request up to 600,000 per the project period of the 3 years, and the minimum award amount is 150,000. So they will not award less than 150,000. Eligible applicants are public housing authorities with traditional public housing units. Troubled housing authorities can also apply as long as they're in compliance with any recovery agreement or memorandum of understanding with their local field office. Can you tell me what status you are, if you're a high performer, standard performer, or troubled housing authority?
Um, I actually, I think we are, I honestly don't know. I think we are a standard performer.
Okay, definitely not troubled, right?
Oh, no, we're not troubled, but I just don't know if we're a high performer.
Okay,
I mean, I can find out.
okay. Ineligible applicants are every other applicant type. You know, they'll have a list, but basically, if you're not a housing authority with traditional public housing units that you propose to serve, then you're not eligible. So basically, that's it.
Okay.
Um, Line item 10, civil rights matters. So, like I said before about troubled housing authority, for civil rights violations, as long as if you do have civil rights violations, as long as you're on track with any corrective action plan that your field office has outlined, you'll be okay. So, my question to you is, do you have any civil rights violations currently?
We, hmm,
So, for the radon zones for this grant, HUD has provided three radon zones. They actually provided a website where you can see the map for every state and every county within those states. And every county, they'll show you what zone you are in, what zone the county is in. So, zone 1 and 2 automatically qualifies for this grant, and zone 3 you qualify with certain exceptions. So luckily for us, we are in zone 1. So
Yay!
luckily or
So we
unluckily.
automatically qualify. I love it.
Yes. So what zone 1 means is that they have measured radon in your area. The Environmental Protection Agency has measured radon, and so they have mapped the country. So if you're in zone 1, that means your area is showing radon levels, or is the possibility exists that you have radon levels in excess of 4 picocuries per liter of air. And picocuries is how they measure radon in the air. And
Okay.
zone 2, you're between 2 to 4 picocuries per liter of air for radon. Zone 3 measures less than 2 picocuries of radon per liter of air. So based on the fact that you're in zone 1, you're at the highest in terms of concentration of potential concentration of radon
Okay.
in the ground. All right, so do you have any questions for me about that?
No, I think that makes it favorable for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the program requirements is that you will be required to test for radon if you don't already have testing. But even if you do have results from testing that you did do, the grant funding also allows for you to do a more comprehensive test. So my question for you is, have you already tested for radon?
We
We've done
have.
some,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, David. No. Go ahead.
We've done some testing and, making units when we get an opportunity.
Okay, so do you have any reporting that shows that you do show levels of radon?
Sure do. I'm sure I can whip something up here for you.
But so you can if you want to, but if you're in zone 1, you don't have to show proof. Only people in zone 3 have to already have radon reporting. But it would be good for us anyways if you do have something to just, like have more evidence to make a stronger argument.
I absolutely think, yeah.
I can send some reports.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna figure out where I have them hidden, but, we do have some.
Well, I think we should send some current ones too, just to show, like,
Okay.
they're high.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. So that's
Yeah,
one
not
of
a
the.
problem. I don't have anything current that we're doing now, but we did some, I think, last summer. Like, we've been trying to get into big units and do them, but.
Right, but I just mean, even if we did, I don't know, 2 or 3 and some of our current big units.
Yep.
I don't think we need to do 20, but even if we had a couple that are just current to show, plus whatever we have from last summer, just to show that we have the radon numbers, I just think it would be good. I'd rather get 600,000 than 150,000 is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, no, I'm with it.
Okay.
Yes. So that will be one of the documents that I request from you, okay, is any radon testing report. All right. So another requirement is for you to actually do the radon mitigation. So those are the 2 mandatory program requirements, is for you to do testing and mitigation.
But
So
the mitigation isn't required until after we receive the grant, correct?
Absolutely. So that's
Okay,
what the
alright.
funding is for you to do testing if you haven't already done testing, and for you to do the mitigation, because you'll definitely need to mitigate it.
Correct, okay.
Mhm. So, dwelling types, and dwelling types are relevant in terms of how you want to budget to request funding. So, single family dwelling is one unit, even though, the agency that governs radon has a different definition for single family than for multifamily. HUD's definition is single family is between 1 to 4 units, and multifamily is 5 or more units. However, the ANSI or AARST states that single family is just 1 unit and multifamily is 2 or more units. So you can decide what type of development you want to state that you are. So my question to you is, are your developments single family or are they multifamily?
Well,
You want me to go back
I,
over the definition?
Yeah,
Well, we
read
have-
the definition one more time. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So they have some conflicting definitions of single family and multifamily. However, the one that you choose to use, will use. So HUD's definition of single family development is between 1 and 4 units, contiguous units joined together. And HUD's
Okay.
definition of multifamily development is 5 or more units. The American Association of Radon Scientists and Technologies, the AARST, has a different definition. They say the definition of a single family is 1 unit, and the definition of a multifamily is 2 or more adjoining units. What definition would you like to use?
Baron, how are you, I'm sorry, how are we applying? Because like Webster would be single, I would think, and I think Cedar Court, those would be multi.
right,
You want-
that's what I'm saying, we have a mixture, we have some, units that are 4 dwelling units, and then we have some that are 4 or more, so I think that we should probably use the multifamily as applied through the American Association of Radon, whatever, the ANSI-AARST definition would apply to all of our units
Okay.
as multifamily.
Okay, all right. So what I'll do is I'll send you a table where I ask you, like, for this development, what type of units you have in there, and then for this development, what other types of units you have in there, so you can just break it down for me per development. So I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. Then eligible expenses, line item 14 talks about how they want you to spend the money, and they do have some estimates here for us. So for the radon testing, they say to test a single family unit is between 100 to 275 per unit. Multifamily is between 50 to 80 per unit. Radon mitigation, it's 1,005 to 3,000 per unit. Multifamily is 2,005 to 4,000 per unit. Then you can allocate money to notify the residents, educate them about radon risk, and also what you will be doing to mitigate it, so that while they see work being done, you'll be able to explain it to them, so they won't get scared and panic and all of those things. And then maintenance cost is $168 per year for operation, and an average of $110 per year for maintenance. In addition to that, we can budget 10% for administrative costs, and that includes indirect costs, which is indirect cost is the burden that this housing authority has to take on to operate this grant now. Because you guys are already working, so to take on this project additionally, there is an additional burden on your time. So you can get compensated. The operating costs of the organization can get compensated through indirect costs. The 10% administrative cost also covers for planning, general management, oversight, coordination, and the execution of the grant. So you can also pay for a technical advisor to assist you to make the best decisions possible. So basically, those are all the eligible expenses for this grant. So what I will do, I will send you a chart where you can decide how much you want to budget for each of these line items, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so that ends my overview. Do you have any questions for me before I go into what's needed for our grant application package?
No, just a quick question under the eligible expenses for the maintenance costs with the $160 per year, and $110 a year for maintenance. How long are they expecting those maintenance costs to last on the system?
I think it depends on until you run out of funding.
Okay. Okay.
Wherever the money
All right.
ends.
Okay.
Because
So
even
basically, I'm going to back into that number.
Exactly.
you are,
Okay.
because
Got it.
if you even calculate, because they're saying multifamily to do mitigation, multifamily is between 2,500 to 4,000 per unit. You're gonna blow the budget
Okay.
right there if you times that by
Exactly.
however many. So
Exactly.
it's wherever
Okay.
it ends.
All right. Got it.
Okay. Any other questions before I move on?
No.
All right. So line item 17, are you registered on grants.gov currently?
Dave, do you know if we got registered on there with doing the grant last year?
Sarita would have done it probably, or Will would have, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, so I
Okay.
can't tell you.
All right, so a little bit of information. So when we did the emergency safety and security grant together,
Yep.
hold on a quick second.
Sure.
Emergency safety and security grant. We didn't mail those in, did we? We emailed those in?
I don't know where all the radon tests went to.
Huh?
Okay. Well, it's
They've
okay.
been
We can
emailed
use
in,
a
so it
couple.
wasn't through
I mean, I wanted to
grants.gov.
spend a little bit of money and get like
Okay.
a couple new ones.
We have the equipment.
I know. Does it give us a report though? Okay.
All right. So when we did the emergency safety and security grant last year, we actually emailed it in to the Office of Capital Improvements. So we didn't go through this route, which is to submit it through grants.gov. However, what I will do is request your DUNS number, and I'll verify if you're registered on grants.gov, okay? So there's a few steps to it. Okay, are you registered on SAMS.gov?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Please make sure that SAMS is up to date, because we will need a current SAMS to register on grants.gov if you're not already registered.
I
Current.
just got the renewal email, so we'll do that.
Okay, all right. Is it possible you can give me your DUNS number right now? Oh, you just look, oh,
I
you say
had,
you have it?
let's see, grab it. Well, I can't find it right now. I will certainly email it to you, but,
Okay,
hold on. Nope, I have it. Let me just make sure this is, okay, Housing Authority. It is.
okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Line item 20, the SF 424, I will complete that for you. Line item 21, the SF LLL, I will complete that for you. Line item 22, the HUD 2880, I will complete that for you. Likewise, line item 23, the HUD 424 CBW, that is the grant budget. I will complete that for you. Line item 24, the project narrative, I will complete that as well. Line item 25, your budget justification, I will complete that. Line item 26, is it possible that you can email me a copy of your procurement policy or any procurement procedures that you follow to
Yes.
hire? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, line item 27, I will request your radon report.
Okay.
Or reports, if you have more than
Okay.
one. Line item 28, can I have a copy of your org chart?
Yes, Dave, we'll work on that, right?
All I need is the information and I will put it together.
I know. I just need that email again so I can. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Line item 29, can I request a copy of the executive director's resume, the finance manager's resume, and we can request your maintenance supervisor's resume, or if you already have a subject matter expert, radon technical advisor, then we can include them. And the purpose for that is we need to tell a story in the application narrative of who the parties will be to manage the grant, who will be overseeing it, because it is a technical grant. So they want to make sure that there will be good management, and the people to manage it do have some expertise with radon.
Okay.
All right, so I will request those resumes. So my question to you is, do you think we can get a radon subject matter expert resume, or should we just go with your maintenance supervisor, or
Dave?
Well, I'm just thinking, I mean, my subject matter expert would not be on staff. He would be our local contractor who is very well versed. So I guess I would have to be the on-staff person.
okay. All right,
Well,
perfect.
do they have to be on staff? Or,
No, they don't
you know what I
have to,
mean?
they don't have to be on staff, but because they're not, maybe it will be a little difficult to get their resume. But since we will use your resume, can you beef it up a little bit and talk a little bit more about what your knowledge is and experience is with radon? So you have probably overseen testing before. If you have overseen or helped with any mitigation, either at the housing authority or at any other organization, you should add it to your resume, okay?
Okay, what about,
When does this due?
no, tell David it's due March 1st.
I can't take another March 1st deadline, Karen.
Dave, about
Yeah, that's fine,
your time.
yep.
Okay, all right.
All right. Okay, so line item 30, just a little bit of background information. Have you conducted any previous radon testing or mitigation in the properties that you manage?
Yes.
I know we just talked about it, but
Right.
I have to go through the
Have
motions.
we done any actual mitigation, Dave? Okay, all right. Great, so we'll answer all these questions then about that.
Okay.
Keeping track here, so I'm line 30.
Oh, did you get, okay, you have it open, Dave?
Yeah, oh, I think I got the email fixed while we were working here, so.
I think you did too, because I saw a bunch of emails pop
Yeah,
up.
you got bombarded?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll also have a questionnaire for you where I'll basically ask these same questions. So, when was the work conducted? The name and qualification of the radon professional. Just a brief summary of how the project was managed, because what's happening now for with HUD is that they've been funding really large capital funding projects, and sometimes the housing authority does not have the expertise to manage the project. So I have seen a little revision in how they're doing the grants now, where they want to see the management aspect of it, because they want to make sure that once you're funded, that you either have the people in place or you have the policies in place to get the right people in place to help you to manage it. So I'm going to just send a little questionnaire to ask these questions, okay?
Okay.
Your answers can be as brief as you want to be brief. You don't need to write like long paragraphs to explain these, okay?
Okay.
All right. Any questions for me before I move on to line item 31?
I don't think I do.
Okay. So line item 31 talks about the properties that you will target. So like I stated before, I'll have a little sheet for you where you'll tell me the name of the development, how many units there are in the development, if the development is categorized as single family or multifamily or both, and you'll just give me a little bit of detail about the development. You'll also give me the PIC code for the development or the 11-digit PHA code for the development. Okay? All right. All right. Line item 32 is basically asking about the radon testing and mitigation that you did, and if your reports show that you have radon picocuries greater than 2. But once I have the reporting, I will be able to pull that information from it. So that won't be a big deal to do. Okay.
Okay.
Line item 33 is just informational purposes for you to let you know your reporting requirements for this grant, that there will be some reporting. They'll probably want you to do quarterly reporting and also a final closeout reporting. They'll probably ask you for a progress report as well as a financial report on the grant. Okay. All right, so that concludes my kickoff meeting. So what's going to happen is tomorrow I'm going to send you an email and I'm going to request the items that we just went over today. So what they will be the org chart, the resumes. Those are the documents that I'm going to request from you. So it will be the org chart, the resumes. I will ask you for your radon report. I will ask you to tell me how you want to spend the money, how you're going to divvy it up between those eligible line items. And I will ask you for a breakdown of the development. And then I'll also ask you for um, the management component of the testing and mitigation that you did do. So those are the items that I will be requesting of you.
Okay.
Okay.
So my email, I'm going to request that from you tomorrow, which is February the 2nd, 2022. Can you tell me what will be a good date to expect those documents back from you?
Do you want them all at one time? Do you want them piecemeal?
That's a great question. I prefer to get them all at one time because that helps me to stay organized because there are many pieces. So if I just get it all at once, then that works best for me, honestly.
Okay. And when would you like them back?
Do you think a week or 2 weeks from now would work? So maybe February 8th or February 15th? What do you think?
I know Dave has a lot on his plate. I will get them to you when you need them. I mean, obviously we want to get the grant, and I will work on it, and I will get you what you need. I will try to have everything you that I need to get you by the 11th. That's not what on for me. But Dave, what are you thinking? I know you have training coming up.
Well, I mean, the org chart, you're just gonna give me that. I just found the radon reports, so I can get those to you. It takes, like, to do a good one, we need 48 hours, so it's gonna take me a couple days to do a few more current ones. It looks like we only did 4 last year, and 2 of them were at PIM, so they don't really apply.
Right.
So I gotta go see what we have vacant right now, and I'll try and get those in and added to it. So, I mean, I can probably, the 11th probably is not a big, but I think I can get the rest of it together.
Okay. So we will definitely have it to you by the 15th, but we will do our best to have it to you by the 11th.
All right. So I'll send an email to you on the 15th, and then you can let me know what your status is.
Okay.
All right. Once we get the documents on the once we get the I was trying to see since there's 2. Well, let me just say the 15th. Let's just push it to the 15th. Once we get everything by the 15th, we'll be able to have a 2-week turnaround for you. So my commitment to you is to have a draft grant application for your review by March the 1st. Okay?
Okay.
That's Tuesday.
Okay.
All right. And then what happens is you'll let us know if you need changes made. We make as many changes as you need to the application until it gets to a final state, and then you approve us to submit it in that final state, and then we submit.
Okay.
All right.
And we can notify you if we received it or not.
Repeat that question.
We should know by it or not?
Yes,
Basically.
because exactly, because they're saying that their estimated project start date for the grantees will be June the 8th. So if that's
Right,
what
right.
they're thinking, then they have to let us know before then. Yes,
Okay.
yeah. All right. Are there any questions for me before I go?
I don't have any right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of any at the moment.
All right. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. If you do think of any questions, please give me a call back or send me an email. I'll get right on top of it for you. And you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for your
Thank you for
flexibility.
Thank you too. Bye.